Discover new opportunities together in a new Chevy. Meet up in an Equinox, winner of the J.D. Power Award for initial quality among compact SUVs. Lend a hand in the strong and capable Silverado, or mix it up in a high-tech Trax with an available 11-inch diagonal touchscreen. Find family, friends, and fun in the Chevy that's right for you. Click to learn more. Chevrolet, together let's drive. For J.D. Power 2023 U.S. Initial Quality Study Award information, visit jdpower.com/awards.
In times of old, in times of new, there's a God to follow to make it true. It's the pop culture field, and you will.
Welcome to this week's episode of the PCFM podcast. We are, if you are listening for the first time, which, if you are, welcome. But we really enjoy and love our dedicated, loyal fans out there. So if you're welcome back, we're sitting right at the intersection of weapons, action, the military, and pop culture. And today we were talking about one of the kings of the action genre of pop culture, the Italian Stallion, literally Rambo himself, Sylvester Stallone.
Yeah, man. Sylvester Stallone, this is going to be our In Focus series where we take one actor or one franchise and we just do like a deep dive into it. So today's Sylvester Stallone. Man, this guy's been making movies since literally before you or I were born.
Let's see.
And he's one thing about Sylvester Stallone, like let's just do some biographical stuff first. Dude's been making movies for decades. He's from Hell's Kitchen, New York. He's like a true New Yorker. He's got that great accent. I guess
you call that an accent? I call that a speech impediment.
Well, I mean, like Arnold Schwarzenegger, if you have that voice and you can use it for the advancement of your career, then more power to you, because you can hear that. Like if you heard that in a dark room, like, oh, Sly, you're here in the same room with me. That's so weird. How would that happen?
How's it going?
But he's also, Sylvester Stallone is kind of a powerhouse because there are actors, right? And there are those who act and then they write. He does his own writing. He's very involved, and he's producing. And I don't know how much stuff he's directed, but he does it all basically. Yeah. And he's in his 70s. I think he's like 77 years old.
Yeah, he's 77, and he looks the way he does. Like I don't know whatever this guy is taking, whether he's
horse steroids.
Yeah, horse steroids, of course, because that's how we got the nickname Italian Stallion. Like,
you know where I get that from, right? You know where I get that from? Because he was literally stopped. He was literally held up in immigration in like Malaysia or something because he had he had like black market horse steroids or so, or like he had steroids, and it was something like that a human is not supposed to take.
Oh, sure, just like any other things. Yeah, I mean, you have to take a massive amount of steroids to look the way he does. But I mean, I am impressed. 77 years old, they say black don't crack, but like, what about Italians? Like spaghetti does not spaghetti. I don't know.
Italians don't.
Italians don't.
Deteriorate. Yeah, it doesn't really. Yeah.
I don't know.
All that to say, Sly is still slaying.
Still kicking. Still doing it.
He's still kicking. And we're going to go through we're going to kind of go through his career a little bit and talk about some of our favorite experiences with stuff that he's done because Sly, Sylvester Stallone, people like Arnold Schwarzenegger, they're almost like a part of your life.
Yeah.
Because
you feel like you know them.
Yeah. You feel like you can go, for me personally, just because I grew up watching way too much TV and way too many television movies. Yeah. I can remember parts of my life where these movies came along. And so they're attached to chapters in my life or specific memories,
Sure.
Because it's an interesting thing, But Cameron, you want to jump in? You want to start talking about stuff that he's done?
Yeah. So we have, a lengthy list of films that Sylvester Stallone has been involved in, and this is looks like in order of earliest to latest.
Chris? Yeah, I think it's Chris kind of gave us he helped us out and he kind of listed kind of his major movies. I mean, he'd been doing stuff. I think there's a movie called Victory that was like about a bunch of, it's like World War II PW was playing a soccer game or something like that. He was in it with Michael Caine. There's like stuff that he was in that's like way early stuff. But I think a lot of people think of his career beginning with Rocky, but he was around before then. And even Rocky, there's lore about him he wrote it and he tried to get it sold, but with him as the lead, and no studio would want to do that, because back then it was like, no, we got to attach a big name to this thing. And he went through a lot of hard times, and then he finally was able to get it secured, but with him as the lead. And I think that kind of cemented his attitude as like, I'm going to be very involved in the artistic development of these things. And, I'm going to fight for this kind of stuff. So yeah.
I mean, what, Rocky came out in 1976, it looks like.
Yeah,
but Sylvester Stallone started his career, like he was on the big screen, or at least the not so big screen, depending on what side of the fence you're looking at it from. He started in an adult film in 1970. He's
really?
Oh, you didn't know this?
No.
Oh my God! Yeah, that's where the Italian Stallion came from. That's where the Italian Stallion came from.
Was that the party at Kitty?
The party at Kitty and Studs. Yeah. So he debuted, which they later renamed that the party at Kitty and Studs. They later renamed it the Italian Stallion because he played a part in this porno. So that came out in 1970. So like,
oh my goodness,
I don't know. Everything that I've heard about like the adult industry in Hollywood is like, once you go there, you can't make the switch,
right?
Right.
Yep.
So maybe I wonder if that like, that reputation, or at least like when you ask him like, oh, what else have you worked on? And he's just like, oh, I did this porno bug in the day. Oh yeah. And now I want to be a serious filmmaker.
Yeah.
Like,
right.
I wonder if that was part of the reason why it was so difficult to secure that. But dude, I can't believe you've never seen the Italian Stallion in action.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. Yeah, now that it just kind of, it makes all the more sense, the Italian Stallion.
Yeah. Oh, you thought it was due to the Malaysia thing.
But hey, good for him though. Good for him for turning that around, because I'm sure there are millions of people around the world that are like, Italian Stallion because he's Italian and he's a tough guy. It's not like because he's Italian and he did a porno.
Yeah, where he like, horse wiener. You got the horse cock going.
He's just really packing it,
Yeah, no, the Italian Stallion was mandatory viewing in the military for me. So I don't know, maybe a different generation of yours, but he started off 1970 that, and then obviously got Rocky. Now we're moving on to serious parts of his career.
Yeah.
But Rocky came out in 1976 following that. But before, it looks like there was a movie called Death Race 2000.
Right.
Death Race in 1975.
Yeah, this is like one of those in the future, the year 1999 kind of thing. Dystopian future, a cross-country automobile race requires contestants to run down innocent pedestrians to gain points, and are tallied based on each kill's brutality. This sounds like a video game. It sounds like GTA before GTA.
Yeah, literally, I was going to say, it looks like, GTA before GTA became GTA. Yeah, look at this. Looks silly as hell. I got to watch this. This probably could not be remade today, I'll tell you.
No, definitely not. I mean, well, they did remake it, but it was more like prisoners.
Yeah.
It was like an entertainment for prisoners, and it was like a big loop, and it had freaking...
you can earn your freedom.
Jason
Statham, Death Race. Yeah, I got you.
I know what your freedom, but it was all a scam, and then they ended up breaking out in the end, and they had like sequels. The only reason I'm mentioning the sequels to Death Race because it starred Luke Goss, and I met him once.
Oh yeah,
but anyway, we can go back to Death Race 2000.
Yeah, no. I mean,
David Carradine. It?
I mean, a terribly average movie series like Death Race. Like, if you forgot about it, I don't think anybody would be upset. But like, if you're watching, you're like, okay, yeah,
it's kind of a cult classic.
Yeah, definitely. But after Death Race, we had the birth of the Rocky franchise. Which, how many Rockies were there? There was 6 Rockies.
5, 6.
Let's see. We had Rocky 1, Rocky 2, Rocky 3, Rocky 4, Rocky 5.
Rocky Balboa.
Yeah.
And then, do you count Creed? Because he was in the first 2 Creed movies.
Yeah, technically that's a spin-off. That's like saying, is Tokyo Drift Fast and Furious? Because like it takes place in a different world. And it is. Right. So like 8 or 9 different Rocky movies?
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Yeah, that started
as a franchise. It's such a classic. did it birth this kind of like inspirational kind of sports inspiration genre? I think it may not have. I don't know when Hoosiers came out, but that's the first one I credit with being like the first sports athlete inspiration,
I would say
overcoming
so,
all odds kind of stuff,
Everybody knows Eye of the Tiger. Like everyone knows when Eye of the Tiger's coming on, it's like we're going to get ready to go to war.
Oh yeah. That's not until 3 though, right? 3 or 4. I think Eye of the Tiger came out with 3 or 4.
Yeah, but like drinking, this like started the trend of like waking up in the morning, and it's been redone so many times in like spin-off. Waking up, cracking an egg, cracking 2 eggs in a glass, and just drinking the yolks and just running, running upstairs.
Yeah, the that famous musical score.
Yeah, what is that song called? Do you know off the top of your head?
No, not off the top of my head. I think it was a famous. There's a famous.
Gonna Fly Now.
Gonna Fly Now. Yeah, but there's a famous. I think he's a composer. If I get the words out of my face, that does a lot. That did a lot of scoring back then. I think that's
Bill Conti.
Henry Mancini. What's that?
Bill Conti.
Okay,
it's a theme song from movie Rocky, composed by Bill Conti with lyrics by Carol Connors and Ain Robbins, performed by Dieta Weston and Nelson Pigford. I don't even know. Okay. To me, it's just musical. It's like, why is there so many names involved in this? Like,
what I love is when there's like 7 different writers for a song and there's only 3 lyrics in the song. Like, Gonna Fly Now. Like, what should we do? How about Gonna Fly Now? Yeah, what else? No, just that over and over again.
Yeah, I don't even.
What about Getting Strong Now?
Yeah, I didn't even know there was lyrics in that theme song.
Yeah, it's kind of in there. It's like, in the background.
Oh, really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't even recall. Yeah. All I hear is. I don't even know where they'd even put it in, but okay. That's
after that. It's that's when they kind of. It's at the end. It's when he gets to the top of the steps, like that iconic shot.
Yeah. Okay,
where he's running up, and I think they actually have the statue there at that place, wherever it is.
Really? Where is it? That movie takes place in where? Chicago?
Philadelphia?
Philly?
No, I think it was Philly.
Is it Philly? Yeah, it's probably Philly. It's like one of those, urban jungle East Coast kind of cities.
Yeah, throughout Philadelphia, a few scenes being shot in Los Angeles. Yeah.
Nice. Okay.
So Rocky, man, I'm trying to think. Like I said, a lot of these movies I associate with my childhood. I actually think I might have seen like Rocky 4 first.
Oh, really?
And that was the one with the Russian dude with Ivan Drago.
Yeah, if he dies, he dies.
He dies. Yeah, and I'm like, who's the black guy that he kills at the beginning? Why is that important?
Yeah, why is he super important? Creed, Apollo Creed, like the guy he loses to in the first Rocky. Like,
yeah, and that's one of those things in like lore. It's every single one of them. I think he wins at the end, but in the first one, he actually doesn't win.
Yeah,
it was about his journey and then the respect that he gains and overcoming obstacles to get into that, to kind of get out of his old life, because he was like a mob enforcer or something like that. He was like a tough guy.
Yeah. I think kind of tough guy.
Yeah. But then he meets his buddy who trains him. You're a bum, Rocky.
Yeah, Rocky.
Yeah.
Get up, Rocky.
But yeah, it's one of those ones. I think Aliens was the same thing. Like when I saw Aliens as a kid, I didn't know that there was a movie before that. I didn't know it was the sequel to something. So, but yeah, same thing with Rocky. It's like one of those all-time great. And I think he wrote the screenplay in like 3.5 days or something. Yeah. He was inspired by a Muhammad Ali fight. He's like, I'm gonna write this.
I'm going to Starbucks and I'm not leaving for 3 days. Fun fact, everybody at Starbucks on their laptop in Los Angeles is indeed writing a screenplay.
It's true.
You just got to ask them. You go up to them, you say, what's the movie about?
Yeah, exactly. You don't even have to know what they're... you already know if they're writing a screenplay. Yeah.
Yeah. So Rocky, obviously a legendary series, still being made today.
Creed 3 came out earlier this year, I think. I mean, it's inspired by, but
inspired by. Which Creed is Sylvester Stallone in? Because I mean,
he's in the first 2. He's in the first one, and then I think he has a smaller role in the second one. I think the third one, they're like, listen, we got to try to
phase
Creed
you out.
Stand on his own. Yeah. I respect that too. You
gotta
watch those co-stars though, man.
Yeah, man. What is it, Jordan Michael?
Michael B. Jordan.
Michael B. Jordan. Got that? Yeah. Just the other Michael.
He who shall not be named, the persona non grata, Jonathan Majors.
Yeah, Jonathan Majors. Yeah, way to ruin your career there, buddy. But anyways, yeah. So we have Rocky series, but that is not the only legacy that Sylvester Stallone has personified through his characters. Let's talk about Rambo, man.
Oh, Rambo.
Yeah, your favorite Green Beret to ever.
That's right, man. Yeah. That's right. He is the legacy. He is the Green Beret by which all of the Green Berets must be measured. And it's funny because that movie's really good. I have this chronological snobbery where I think like anything that was made before before I could comprehend what movies were, it had to have been like not very good, but the action in this movie is really good. And it's even more impressive when you think about they didn't have CG back then.
Yeah, it was all practical effects.
Really real stuntmen just jumping off a cliff into a body of water. And they're like, you'll just try not to hit a rock on your way down.
Yeah, like this spot looks good.
Yeah, we got a hospital to take you to afterwards.
Yeah, but that spot's a little bit more dangerous, but it'll look way better on camera. So like, do you mind?
Yeah. But First Blood, man, based on a novel, I think. First Blood by David Morrell. It's about a returning home. It's really kind of a story. I think the broad theme in First Blood, at least, was about the reception that a lot of veterans got when they came home from Vietnam. You know, and like trying to find your place in the world, not getting good reception, not being welcomed back into society. Which I think for the most part,
becoming a homeless guy. Just literally becoming a homeless guy.
Like bag. Yeah, exactly. And he's just all he's doing is passing through the town. That stupid cop just won't leave him alone, and then they unleash the beast.
Yeah, man, dude, don't mess with your homeless veterans, man.
Yeah,
because you never know whether they were just slaying Charlie in Vietnam for a living. The only reason they came back is because the war ended. That's some
of those guys. That's the thing about Vietnam. We've spoken to a couple of Vietnam veterans, and they're like, oh yeah, like I just wanted to stay over there. And so I heard about this unit that was doing stuff over here. So I hopped a ride over there in a chopper. I just said, hey, can I hang out with you guys? They're like, yeah, come do these operations. It was like the Wild West for some
literally
people.
Someone stayed. Like, was it Eckert that we had? John Eckert? Mike Eckert, that we had on the podcast. And he was just like, back then, if you at the end of your deployment, if you wanted to stay, you could. And I'm just like, what? But that story he told us about, how he his unit was leaving, his ODA was leaving, and he ran into his buddy and he's like, hey, we need another Echo if you want to stay another 12 months. He's like, sure. And then the plane that his old team went on crashed into a mountain and everyody died.
That's right,
dude. That story is like a core memory in my mind. Like that dude should write a book. But
go back, folks, and listen to the first season of the podcast. We got Mike Eckert, former Green Beret, former Vietnam Green Beret.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. SOG. Former SOG operator. He was awesome.
Real deal, man. The real deal. So.
Real deal Holyfield.
So in First Blood, when he's talking about over there, I could drive a tank. I could fly a jet. Like I feel like a lot of they really could do that kind of stuff.
No, I mean, so many legendary lines in the first Rambo, but honestly, not my personal favorite Rambo. My favorite is the second, where he gets
First Blood Part 2, where he goes back to Vietnam.
Yeah, where he goes back to Vietnam, and and he has to deal with the the commies, dirty commies over there.
Yeah,
and, he has his explosive arrows that he uses, and this such iconic scenes. He blows that guy up. The chopper's coming after him. He takes it down. That one just has a little bit more of the action that I love.
Yep.
From what I think Rambo is. Instead of like fighting at home, trying not to be just mutilating cops, which is cool.
Yeah.
But like now he goes back and he's like in his element, and now he becomes like this kind of mercenary type guy.
I feel like I wonder if that wasn't something co-written by James Cameron, by the way.
Of course.
But it's one of those things where it's like almost like kind of wish fulfillment. Like, man, I wish we could have gone back and done this, because we kind of left, and it wasn't the best leaving of that country, as current events have shown. But like, it's like I wish we could go back and do this, and so they make a movie like where he goes back and he does all this stuff to those commies, those Vietnam commies.
Yeah.
But
he's rescuing all the POWs that are still back there.
Yeah, exactly. And that was a big thing too. There was a couple movies that were made in that era, kind of the mid to late 80s, about like, we still got guys over there. Like, what if we could go back and get them? Like Uncommon Valor is one of those ones we've talked about.
Yeah.
they literally go back, because I'm sure that was a lot of, the POW MIA, nonprofit. It's like until they all come home. It's like some of those dudes will never find out what happened to them. So
no, it's sad, but
that was
definitely my favorite.
I saw that one first. That was one of those ones where I saw that one first and I didn't realize it was a part of the series. Because that's like, you see that when you're a kid, man, and it's like, it's the action, and it's just like, yeah, America, yeah, screw those commies,
Yeah. Like, I think I saw this one first as well. Like, when you see a movie and you're like, oh yeah, this one could definitely stand alone as like the first in the series. Yeah, that's First World part 2 for me is like that could start off as number 1 as his like, there was never a story showing Rambo like in the unit.
Yeah.
I think that would be
an interesting, like, if, we're all about prequels. Oh my God, write this down.
Yeah, someone write this down, prequel.
And they just call it Baker Company. Like Rambo Baker Company. And it's just about what they did in Vietnam,
Yeah, exactly. Like, how did he get that good? Like, like those
they could throw in some other experiences. Like, I'm a big fan of the Roy Benavidez story. They could kind of work that in there to where like he was a part of that operation or something.
Dude, we're on to something right now.
Rambo Baker Company. I'm literally gonna like
write that down. Write
it down.
Yeah, and we can just, obviously, like, we're getting very excited right now because this is a killer idea.
Yeah.
Like, you could, it doesn't need to be, Sylvester Stallone, because back then he looked so different. You could find some roided up, Italian guy that looks just like him.
Yeah. Yeah, they could find somebody.
He doesn't have long hair. He's got short hair. Like, you just have to, or you can just dub him in AI. I don't know.
They could do Zac Efron. I feel like Zac Efron could do it because he's freaking jacked right now.
He's yoked right now.
He's doing He-Man and that wrestling movie, the Iron Claw.
Movie, the Iron Claw.
Oh my God, so they could just deepen his voice a little bit, gotta make him young, because Sylvester Stallone, I feel like his accent has become more pronounced as he's gotten older. Yeah. But when he was a young guy, he was just talking. He just kind of had a deeper kind of New York accent or whatever.
Yeah, it's easy to do.
All right, we're gonna do this. Don't you guys steal this?
If you steal this,
if you can write this before we do and produce it, then fair play. But don't.
Yeah, just give us royalties. Yeah,
just give us royalties. Yeah,
just don't. Right. Okay,
copyright.
Me and Izzy are going to Starbucks. All right. Well, that's a great idea. So nobody steal that, otherwise I'll be freaking pissed.
Yeah. All right, we're in the 80s now.
Yes.
And there's a lot of good action that he has done. What's one of your favorite ones kind of in that 80s?
In the 80s? This one's
early
not necessarily
90s era.
This one was part of my childhood because like I had an unreal fascination in grade school with arm wrestling.
Oh my gosh.
Over the top to me, and this was like elementary, middle school.
Yeah.
Over the top was like that core memory for me. Cause like, for some reason, jacked men driving semi trucks, and arm wrestling was just like this universe I wanted to, like, if this was a separate planet, I would get on a rocket ship and like go over there. Like that movie is just full of just, things that you see on the outside that, immediately like correlate with over the top. Like if you're arm wrestling somebody and before you start, you take your hat and you pull it to the back, like, dude, it's a switch. It's a switch.
Yeah, man. It's a switch. Like he talks, they do that great thing where they have the promo and they treat him like it's an interview. He's like, I turn about, it's almost like a switch, like I'm turning it on,
Yeah, and then he has like the son relationship where he's just a trucker guy that's just. The mom can't handle the lifestyle because I'm a trucker that arm wrestles. So what? And then
and she's like his son's like at a military academy, and his wife married some rich dude or whatever, or the rich grandpa, the rich father, who's like, "You're a disgrace. You're nothing but a pleb. A normal everyman."
Yeah, and he just sends the mom sends the son to go learn from his father, like to be like a man. Like, what does a man do? Or to like spend time with his father. And he just turns him into this disgruntled kid that knows how to drive a stick shift and steals a car when he's like 14. And his dad's trying to win a brand new shiny truck.
Yeah.
But it's just that movie for me was, that was like, I remember hearing about it because my dad was like, you like to arm wrestle, huh? I'm like, I like to because I like to win. And he's like, you ever see Over the Top? And I'm like, what? And I saw it and I was just like, entire personality changed.
That's awesome, man. That makes me feel so good because I was around. I got to see this in theaters, and then you wonder if these kinds of movies will like live on. But I'm so glad that you got to see it, and not only that, but you got to see it when you were a kid, which is like when the best time to see this kind of movie.
Yeah, that was
so inspirational.
It is. I'm actually gonna rewatch that movie again because like seeing it on this list made me so happy. Yeah. Lincoln Hawk. Yeah.
Lincoln Hawk. He co-wrote this one too.
Did he?
He's a writing credit. Yeah, it's one of those great ones where you got to have the great storytelling elements because it's obviously about a father and a son, right, trying to reconcile. That's the basic storyline. But it's wrapped up in the backdrop of arm wrestling championships, and you can make a movie about any kind of sport and have it be inspirational. But like, I'm sure that at one time arm wrestling did have some sort of like big following.
Yeah, just like when Karate Kid came out, like everybody wanted to do karate.
Yeah, or Gleaming the Cube with skateboarding.
Yeah.
Deep cut.
Well, let me ask you, Izzy. So in the 80s, right? We talked a lot about over the top. What's your selection for like 80s Stallone movies?
Well, I mean, if we can only choose one, and I can't do over the top because I was thinking about that one.
Were you? Oh, I'm sorry. You can say it. We can move on to the 90s. Make it easy.
Let's just move on to the 90s, man. Because it was either gonna be that or Tango and Cash because that's one of the all-time great team ups. Him and Kurt Russell, but Tango and Cash it's kind of fun. It's got some good stuff to it, some good lines, some good. It's like a buddy action comedy.
Yeah,
but over the top, man. Meet me halfway
across the soundtrack.
Yeah, the ending song.
I'm surprised Stan Bush wasn't in that movie. Like, didn't have music in that movie.
Yeah.
Oh, you didn't like Cobra? I thought Cobra was
I never saw Cobra.
Oh, you never saw it? I think you should go watch it because it's just like RoboCop without the.
He's a cop in that.
Oh, he's a cop. Yeah. So like
he's like a hardcore cop.
Oh, he's a mad. If I had to compare it to one movie, it'd be like imagine if Snake Plissken was a police officer.
Oh, I'm gonna see that. That's
it. He like it. It probably couldn't be remade today because like obviously some things that are in that movie. But he's a cop, and he's just like this badass cop that like goes after like he doesn't play by the rules. But somehow he still has a job. Like couldn't.
Does he get called into the office of the chief?
Yeah,
he's like,
and he's just
Cobra, like, into my office now.
Yeah, literally. So yeah, see Cobra. I think it streams in like Hulu or something. But he's like, hey, dirtbag, and he's just like, you're a piece of shit, criminal.
Yeah, it'd be good to go back. The 80s, every movie, every decade kind of has its own characterizations, politics and culture and where we're at in society and stuff. I wonder if all these tough guy, because you got like Dirty Harry and then you got Cobra and you got all these tough guy cop movies. I just wondered, like, I didn't pay attention to politics because I was, growing up basically.
Yeah.
But I wonder why that was such a thing. Maybe it's just because those kinds of action movies were popular, or if there was something going on in the society with cops and criminals or whatever. I don't know. It'd be fun to go back. I don't know if one of you can recommend a book or a YouTube video about that kind of stuff. It's just interesting because
This is the smell of a warm 3-day-old egg salad sandwich in a wimpy trash bag.
Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy!
Blech. And this is the smell of that same sandwich in a hefty, ultra-strong trash bag with new Fabuloso lemon scent.
Hefty, hefty, hefty!
Smell the difference? When life gives you stinky, get Hefty Ultra Strong with new Fabuloso lemon scent. It smells like clean, freshly picked lemons. So no matter what's inside your trash, you can stop the stink and smell the lemon.
Hello, it is Ryan, and we could all use an extra bright spot in our day, couldn't we? Just to make up for things like sitting in traffic, doing the dishes, counting your steps, all the mundane stuff. That is why I'm such a big fan of Chumba Casino. Chumba Casino has all your favorite social casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere with daily bonuses. That should brighten your day a little. Actually, a lot. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com. That's ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW Group. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Every movie is within of its time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it pulls something out of the culture and takes it with it, and you can kind of examine things that way.
Yeah. I think it was a little bit like the perception of cops back then were a little bit more, they could get away with a lot more. Like there was no cameras. There's, they could get away with a little bit more abuse of power. To prove your theory there, pal, just go watch the earlier seasons of Cops, and then you'll be good. They're so entertaining, though.
Oh, yeah. I remember Cops. That show went on for a long time.
Oh, yeah. I still watch it every night. Yeah.
Really?
Oh,
yeah. Early days, Cinema Verite. It was like the reality television.
Yeah, no, yeah, they have reruns on Watch Free on the Vizio TV. So Sydney and I just sit there, and we don't have a sauna, so we just put on Cops all night, and we just sweat. Yeah,
That's awesome, man. All right, well
okay.
now we're kind of getting into the 90s. The 90s were a good decade for good stuff. I think this was kind of when we started, maybe towards the end of the decade, early 2000s maybe. Like, he had kind of a time where I don't think he was doing a whole lot.
Really?
You know? But maybe not. Maybe I'm just thinking, but like, kind of late 90s, early 2000s, I feel like there was a period, but like the 90s were a good decade for him. That's like when he's in his prime, he's at the top of his game. And we get Demolition Man, John Spartan, which is one of those the all-time greats of action movies. Yeah. And one of those ones where the premise is weird, but it also has kind of astute social commentary. I would say it's even kind of relevant today, because it's like we're talking about like the tough cop, the no nonsense, get in there, kick butt, and like he goes like outside of the lines to get the job done. But then he gets accused of killing all these people wrongly, and they freeze him right in this special like prison. But then they wake him up like 40, 50 years later, and all of society has become like this hoity-toity, like soft, kind of
super
soy
weird
boy, kind of like everybody's like really peaceful. We don't use physical violence. But then when what's his name? Blade,
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes gets released. They can't handle him because he doesn't play by the rules either.
Yeah, he doesn't play by anything. So they have to get Sylvester Stallone, man. It honestly killer cast. Because like this was when Wesley Snipes was like also like, at the top of his game.
Yeah. And he's like a hardcore martial artist, great action star in his own right. Sandra Bullock. Yeah, there you go.
Sandra Bullock plays like
Dennis
the
Leary. Yeah.
Yeah, because the original Blade came out in 98. So
okay, so this is still building up.
This was like 93, and then you had New Jack City in 91 for Wesley Snipes. But this is not a podcast about Wesley Snipes. This is a podcast about Sylvester Stallone.
Future in focus episode, Wesley Snipes.
Yep, there you go. But it's Demolition Man was good, but then I think there was like three at least like elite level Stallone movies that like made the 90s for him, because he also had Judge Dredd. The first Judge Dredd.
Yep.
It's they tried remaking it. No, this one will reign supreme at all times.
Yeah. I did like the remake. I thought
the remake was good.
Yeah.
But it's one of those that's just like, okay, it was good, but it's not gonna, I'm not gonna, if I tell someone about this movie, I'm not gonna tell them to watch the remake. I'm gonna tell them to watch the original first.
Yeah.
The Judge Dredd, and then also for me at least, you have why did I just miss it? Cliffhanger. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was gonna say Cliffhanger. Yeah.
Yeah. Cliffhanger was awesome. You kidding me?
Yeah. Oh no, Cliffhanger's amazing. Yeah, I'm gonna kill me a mountain man, and freaking John Lithgow is the bad guy, which is amazing because you think John Lithgow's done a lot of great. John Lithgow's one of those actors, just as an aside, who can do it all. He can play dramatic or he can play comedic, and he can play the good guy or the bad guy. I actually saw a live show of him once. I didn't meet him, but I saw a live show in Los Angeles, and he had a one-man show. It was kind of had one half he would tell a story, and then the second half he would tell a different story. And it was all just him just telling stories. He's a great actor, man. He knows how to carry things. But Cliffhanger, man, that's one of those. It's one of those ones where I don't know. It's funny the backdrops that we give to action movies.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like, this is about climbing. It's about mountain climbing. And
I've never met a mountain climber that I'm like, that's a violent individual.
Yeah, that's like that guy can carry himself in a fight. It's like
no, they're usually climb, like REI employees. It's like
Yep. Rex or Michael Rooker.
Yeah. But interesting, I just came across a little article on Maxim, and I'm on there appropriately. But Jason Momoa to appear in Cliffhanger reboot.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't know about that one either. Some movies they just need to stop, just
man,
quit. Let them be.
Yeah. I mean, I think Hollywood is definitely in a place right now where there is no creative energy.
No,
we have had a whole generation of filmmakers that have left, and there's a new generation in there. And for whatever reason, I think it's probably just a corporate kind of like, hey, let's use the properties we got and recycle them because that's easier. Yeah, it's easier
than finding a new guy.
Yeah, but I don't know, man. I don't know. What did they remake? Point Break?
Yeah. Oh, that was the worst remake. Point Break was a movie. It should have been like a sin to even touch once it came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, I hope the people, it's so good. I hope the people that remade that all burn in hell,
They died horrible deaths.
Yeah, they died horrible deaths. Because that was like the worst sin ever. That was like, Eve ate the fruit, man.
The Pandora's box. They let all the bad things out.
But I will tell you, to save that statement, Izzy, that article was written in 2019, so I think it might, 4 years ago. So that must have got kinked.
Hopefully
it got kicked. But
this is one of the reasons why I think why we can have an episode about Sylvester Stallone, because part of Cliffhanger and these other movies is because Sylvester Stallone is in it, and he's a unique kind of person and actor, and he has a presence that a lot of actors, Jason Momoa, I think you give him a run for his money. He has a presence, he has a style to him, but there's just something about Sylvester Stallone, and also the tone of these movies. Like, we don't make action movies quite the same way, I don't think, back then that we used to. I don't know. It's an interesting thing. I think that's why let me just say this, why a lot of action remakes, I think, don't necessarily work. And you guys listening and watching, you guys can correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, or send us an email like, no, action movies today are better, or they're worse, or about the same. But
let us know.
Yeah, let us know.
Yeah, by sending an email to pcfmpodcast@gmail.com, or sending us a message on Instagram at PCFM Podcast. So yeah, let us know. What do you think about action movies nowadays? We'd love to hear your opinion. But I mean, there's a lot more movies that he did in the 90s. We have Assassins, we have The Specialist, Daylight, Copland. Yeah, he was like, after 93, it was like almost a movie every single year, maybe two up until 97.
Oh, wow. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. And then now let's see if my theory holds true. I guess, let's see. We got Get Carter in 2000. We got Ants, Get Carter, Driven, I See You in 2002, Avenging Angelo, Liberty Kids, Taxi 3. So he did have kind of a dip a little bit. Shade, Spy Kids 3. Like, I don't even remember hearing half of these movies. And then we get Rocky Balboa in 2006. And then I think that was when things started coming back for him, because we get Rocky in 2006, and then so he goes back to the well. He goes Rocky 2006, Rambo 2008, and then The Expendables in 2010.
Yeah.
And then he's kind of like, it's like a slow, or it's like another rise over a couple of years, where it's like, oh, he's back. Remember? And now he's in like a renaissance of his own career, like in the latter part of his life.
Yeah, no, it's good. I mean, the Expendables series, they're making they have 4 of them.
There's 4 of them. I heard the last one. I heard the 4th one was Garbaggio, but
I mean, you're getting a bunch of older guys.
2. Yeah, I mean, well, they're not being, they can't get all the original guys back. So I think they were trying to do like a handoff to Jason Statham, who's a strong action actor, but they try to get some new stuff like Iko Uwais and some other action stars that are a little bit younger, but not quite, the people that were in the first 3.
Yeah. I mean, you have like the action greats in here. I mean, they should have just ended it. That's my opinion. Like, end it with like, and then if you wanted to, I wouldn't mix like, this is just my opinion. I wouldn't mix like old gen with new gen and like try to do this handoff. I'd either just start from completely scratch and create a new genre or a new franchise with like all the younger generations, instead of like having this cliche handoff. I mean,
it's the requel, it's the reboot kind of era that we're in, where you have to get the older guys to kind of, it's the passing of the torch. You have to try to do that. It's Star Wars. It's all these kind of other movies and shows where they have the original actors, they're in there, but they're kind of supporting cast, and then they have the new cast. They did it with Scream and Halloween, and maybe not so Halloween because they kept Jamie Lee Curtis in there, but it's just the way things are these days, because they want to get people's nostalgia, and then they also want to keep the franchise going, so they have to have both of them in there. But I don't think it's a very winning formula from what I've seen.
I mean, Expendables 4, is Megan Fox trying to become an action star?
Yeah, remember we watched Rogue on the Patreon?
We watched Rogue.
I think that's because there's a lot of female actresses these days that are making that transition. They're a little older, right? So they do some CrossFit, they do some Krav Maga, and then they, we got Atomic Blonde, and we got a lot of these female action led movies, and so maybe she's trying to. I think she's just happy to work, honestly. I don't know.
Taking a break from her weird relationship with Machine Gun Kelly.
Yeah, maybe she's a couple weeks away.
Yeah, I'd be like, okay, I'm tired of drinking each other's blood. Let's I'm gonna go film an action movie and be surrounded by pretty normal people, pretty normal Americans, and then I'll come back to this and bleach my hair.
Some structure in her life. Yeah.
Absolutely. But the Expendables, I mean, I enjoyed them in the beginning, but now they're kind of getting a little crazy. But I mean, he's lived I think we're getting pretty close to the end here, but Sylvester Stallone has lived a life worth living.
He has, and he's definitely taken charge of his life. Like, he's made moves. He hasn't just been like a passive kind of observer or just an actor. He's always been a writer. Apparently, you can see he's got writing credits. To whatever degree that's true, sometimes he just gives an idea. He's like, if I give you this idea, you got to give me the writing credit. But producing, I'm sure he's got a good amount of cash from the Expendables franchise.
Sure. I mean, what is good old Sylvester Stallone's net worth? Let's see. Sylvester.
And now he's on Tulsa King. He's got a great show going on. Or I've heard he's got a great show. I haven't actually seen it, but he's good friends with James Gunn. He's made appearances in the Guardians of the Galaxy movies, which I guess that's over with now. But he's got stuff coming up, man. He's got Armored, Cliffhanger 2 pre-production.
No.
Oh no! Gabe Walker and his daughter have a mountaineering company in the Italian Alps. A tragedy strikes, so Gabe and his daughter must deal with and overcome the tragedy. And some bad guys appear, and all hell breaks loose.
Some bad guys appear.
That's the description on IMDb. I don't know who wrote that, but somebody who's not good at writing taglines.
Yeah, no. To go off on a rabbit hole here, like the descriptions, I've read a couple that those people need to be fired because on Hulu, I was gonna rewatch The Accountant with why am I
Ben Affleck?
Yeah, with Ben Affleck, and he's an autistic guy who runs numbers for criminal organizations, and he's like a trained hitman. And in the description, it's just like a finance guy finds himself on the wrong end of the barrel, and it's like, no, have you even seen this movie? It's not good. But Sylvester Stallone's net worth is, according to CelebrityNetWorth.com, it says it's $400 million.
Wow.
So he's in the category of one of the richest celebrities. But also, this says he's 5'9", and Google says he's 5'10". So who knows?
Somewhere in there, 5'9"
Yeah,
and a half.
I always thought I thought he was way taller.
Yeah, I think it's one of those he has such a presence, and maybe they shoot him a certain way or get actresses and actors that are about as tall as, or maybe a little bit shorter than he is. That's about average height, I think. He would be about my height. I'm like 5'10".
Yeah, I mean that's what they say about me too, because I'm 5'7", and they're like, just his presence makes him.
You have a presence. Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
But absolutely, I think Sylvester Stallone. These are fun to do just because you see how much of an impression they left.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Hey guys, it is Ryan. I'm not sure if you know this about me, but I'm a bit of a fun fanatic when I can. I like to work, but I like fun too. It's a thing. And now the truth is out there. I can tell you about my favorite place to have fun. Chumba Casino. They have hundreds of social casino style games to choose from with new games released each week. You can play for free anytime, anywhere. And each day brings a new chance to collect daily bonuses. So join me in the fun. Sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
Yeah. But we have a fan question, and this fan question comes to us from our biggest fan, Chris, Magic Voice Chris, the producer. He really wants to know, what's your favorite Sylvester Stallone movies?
Okay. All right. Let me think here. I need a minute here. I need to focus my energies. This is very important. Because it's always, favorite is always such a subjective thing. Like, what parameters do you use in terms
there's
of
emotional connection. Like, it might not be the best, but like, what made an impact in your life? I mean, if you don't mind, I can go.
Do it.
Like, I already mentioned it. You know, we were talking about the 80s. Over the Top for me, favorite Sylvester Stallone movie of all time. But I will tell you, a close second is the 2008 Rambo reboot. I think that was just super well done.
Yeah.
Just because he's aged. So it's like he moves to Cambodia. He's like aged, right? And like, it's so believable, you know, because it is put in after like all the actions of the Rambo movies. And then he's like still jacked and he's still buff. And like, I don't know. It's such a good movie. It's so violent.
Yeah.
Like the action is absolutely crazy. Like the scene where he jumps on the 50 cal and turns it and like blasts away all those dudes. And they're literally just like torn to pieces.
Yeah, they're exploding. Yeah, their body parts are exploding from the impact.
If I had to imagine, you know, what that would look like being hit by a 50 cal, like they did it. That's it. You know, there was no room for imagination. It was like all on the screen.
Yeah. That's a great way. You know, you have to evolve a series, a franchise. And I felt like that was a good evolution of the Rambo franchise.
Yeah, no, it was done perfectly. Like he's a little bit slower, you know, but he's older. Like everything was
probably
done
in his
right.
60s when he did that or something.
Yeah, probably maybe like late 50s, but yeah,
late 50s.
Rambo 2008 is a close second favorite film.
Yeah. I mean, in terms of like I always think of it in terms of could I watch this movie over and over again and not get tired of it, or could I go back to it and watch it and still get almost the same amount of joy and enjoyment out of it? And if I had to say, I'm trying to pick just one, but in terms of long-term impact, in terms of my interest that it had influenced, First Blood Part 2, Rambo First Blood Part 2. Where he goes back, he's got the exploding arrow tips. He's got the rocket launcher, backblast area clear shot from the downed helicopter.
Yeah.
You know, it's the classic 80s America versus Russia, the USSR, you know, and he's got the one arm M60. It's so iconic, you know? So that one, and then really close second would be Demolition Man. I love that movie. I could watch that movie at any time. All restaurants are Taco Bell, Sandra Bullock. It's so great.
Yeah. All restaurants are Taco Bell.
How much did they pay? To have them go to a Taco Bell?
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was an awesome plug for them.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, cool, man.
That's the answer, man.
So, Chris, we hope you, learned a little bit about Izzy and I. At least we didn't have like the same answer, so that was good.
Yeah, it's cool. We're individuals.
We are individuals. Well, with that, folks, we have one final thing before we wrap up this podcast. And as we do in PCFM fashion, we always end the episodes with a game. And this game, Izzy, is for you. So are you ready?
I'm ready, man. I'm ready, Chris.
So welcome to another round of Whose One-Liner Is It Anyway? I'm going to say a famous movie one-liner, and you tell me if it was Sylvester Stallone who said it or someone else. Bonus points if you can tell me who the someone else was. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. So no warm-up. All right, here we go.
You can see, if you're watching this on YouTube, you can see that my eyes are closed.
Yeah, Izzy's eyes are closed. He's envisioning.
Because I'm just blanking my mind and just letting it come to me.
Yeah. All right, here we go. No warm-up. Rambo's a pussy.
Oh, that's so tough. I mean, I don't think it was Sylvester Stallone because he would be talking about himself. So I'm going to say not Sylvester Stallone. But I can't. I think it's got to be another movie where he's referencing some sort of action hero or some sort of tough guy kind of thing. It's funny because now I'm thinking of the other line. There's somebody else that talks about like Batman being a wuss because he like doesn't kill people or whatever. But anyway, okay, so I'm gonna say it's not Rambo, but I don't know, or not Sylvester Stallone, but I don't know who it is.
Ooh, it is Sylvester Stallone. Yeah, it's
gosh.
Yeah, it's from Tango and Cash.
Really? That's so meta.
Yeah, that's so meta.
Oh my gosh.
The metaverse, he's breaking the barriers, dude.
That's like in Twins when Arnold Schwarzenegger is walking through Los Angeles and he sees a poster for First Blood Part 2 and he like starts to compare the muscle size. He's like, never mind.
Yeah. Wait, wasn't Arnold Schwarzenegger considered for the Rambo?
Oh, was he? I hadn't heard about that lore.
Oh, I don't know. It could be lore. I'd believe it because they were like same era,
Yeah, they definitely
they're person.
Yeah, run and gun kind of who's the top action star.
Yeah. All right. So it's okay. We still got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of these left to go.
Be tough.
So here we go. Hopefully you can get it back here. So next line is, I'm still kicking. I must be on Broadway.
Okay, that's not Sylvester Stallone. That's Jean-Claude Van Damme from Time Cop. That's the last thing he says before he kicks Joel Silver into past Joel Silver into future Joel Silver, and then they occupy the same space, and then they turn into a weird globule thing and go. And
oh my god! Okay, so I mean, you're pretty confident on that one, so I'm not even gonna hold any suspense. Yeah, absolutely, you're right because you described it to a T. So good job. Yeah, not Stallone. That was indeed Van Damme in Time Cop. All right, next line. You're a disease, and I'm the cure.
Oh man, that sounds like Agent Smith from The Matrix because he talks about humans being a disease. You're a disease and I'm the cure. I think that is Sylvester Stallone because it sounds something like either like Demolition Man or Dread or something like that. So I'm going to say yes, Sylvester Stallone.
And you are indeed correct. And you mentioned you haven't seen this one before, but it is from Cobra.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Right answer, wrong movie.
Yeah. So you got it right. But you can kind of see it has like those, Snake Plissken type lines.
Yes, yes.
It's Stallone as Plissken as a cop. So you should check it out. All right. So next one. Here we go. I want them to know that death is coming and there's nothing they can do to stop it.
I mean, that sounds like a Sly Stallone kind of line. I can hear him. The death is coming. And nothing they can do to stop it. I'm going to say yes. That's a Sly Stallone. I don't know, maybe Judge Dredd or something like that. I don't know.
Correct. It is Stallone, but it's not from Judge Dredd. It is from Rambo.
Oh, okay. I'm right. I'm right in all the wrong ways or wrong.
Yeah.
Right ways.
It's bonus points, right? But if you're hitting them, you're hitting them, but you're not knocking them down, but you're hitting them.
Okay. All right. It's a good analogy.
Yeah. All right. Moving right along. I've retired more men than Social Security.
I've retired more men than Social Security. That's definitely a great action line. That sounds like a cheesy 80s action line. I've retired more men than Social Security. I don't know. I'm playing the odds this time. I'm going to say yes. I'm going to say I've retired more men than Social Security. You know what? I'm just going to say yes. I have instincts to say no because I'm kind of running the averages down the line with this, but I'm just going to say yes. I'm going to say yes.
Ooh, you should have went with the averages. It is not a Stallone line. It is Carl Weathers from Rocky IV.
I've retired more men than Social Security. All right. Hey, fair enough. Carl Weathers had his time.
Yeah.
But he couldn't quite stay on top. But he was the man back then. He was in Predator. He had the Rocky series.
Yeah, Rocky.
Action Jackson.
He was in freaking Happy Gilmore with his wooden hand.
It's all in the hips.
It's all in the hips. It's all in the hips.
Don't worry about me, Happy. I got my hand back.
Yeah, I got my hand back. That's good. I love when he's just poking him with it. It's like the wooden hand. He's like, hey, quit. Yeah. All right, moving along. Here we go. Left, right. What's the difference? What difference does it make, Leo? We're in a desert. Let me try that again. Left, right. What difference does it make, Leo? We're in a desert.
Man. All right. Just have to go quickly down the line. Left, right. What difference does it make? We're in the desert. I have to try it with the accent,
Yeah, always.
When has Sylvester Stallone ever been in a desert?
In a desert.
It'd have to be like the Expendables because like Rocky series, no.
Rambo,
no.
Philly, yeah.
Yeah, Tango and Cash, maybe. I'm not really sure. I'm gonna say yes though, because I feel like that sounds very good in his mouth.
That sounds good in his mouth.
If I do the accent,
interesting way to say that, but if that's your final answer, you are incorrect. It is not Stallone. It is actually Chuck Norris in Firewalker.
Oh dang, man! It's out of my league. Yeah, we got to do a Chuck Norris episode so I can bone up on it and watch him and stuff, because he's another action star, but I haven't seen a lot of his stuff.
Oh man, yeah, that entire episode would just be Chuck Norris jokes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, buddy, you got 2 more. You got some right, you got some wrong. You're doing, almost like 60-40, 50-50 right now. But let's see if you can finish strong. Let's see if you can lean the averages in your favor. Here we go. Poole was right. You are an ox and a moron.
Poole was right. You are an ox and a moron. Huh. That's interesting. Say that one more time.
Poole was right. You are an ox and a moron.
Golly. That does not sound familiar at all. I'm just gonna go with I'm gonna keep keeping on. Go straight down the line. I'm gonna say yes. That's it. One of these got to be a Sylvester Stallone quote, but I can't tell where it's from. So yes, Sly Stallone.
Way to go, buddy. You are right. Yeah, it was Stallone, and it was from Oscar, which I have never seen.
Never seen. The only Oscar reference I've ever gotten was, I think it was either Wayne's World 1 or 2, where he makes a speech, and then it's like Oscar material. Oh no, is that from Oscar, or is that Oscar material as in the speech was Oscar material? See, I don't even know.
I I Googled Oscar Sylvester Stallone, and it was like, he has won no Oscars. And I was like, what? What's going on?
Okay, all right. But then I'm way off the reservation on that.
It's okay.
Reference.
Like I said, you hit the target, you just didn't knock it down. So you're good. You're right. Don't worry. All right, last one here. Break now, you Mickey Mouse piece of shit.
Oh yeah, that's Demolition Man when he's trying to get the car to stop. Yeah, he's trying to get and then it's like the foam thing like sprays in him, and like the safety foam or whatever. But yeah, that's Demolition Man.
You Mickey Mouse piece of shit, you. That is Demolition Man, and it is way to tip the odds in your favor, man. Way to finish off strong. Good job.
C's get degrees. I'd say that was good.
I would say you get a C on that one. Yeah, C's get degrees in this case. So good job, Izzy.
Yeah, man. Thanks. That's a good one. Thanks, Chris. Thanks for doing the research on that one. I love anything that stretches my nerdly trivia brain. I like it.
Yeah, I know. You're the only one that could come up with that stuff, because if it was me on your side, I'd be screwed. I'd just be shooting for averages, man. Shooting in the dark.
That's why Chris is good at tailoring these games for us. He knows that you're from a different era, and that, he knows that I've spent my childhood watching TV.
Yeah, you played inside as a kid. I played outside.
That's right.
That's
you
right.
You were breakdancing outside.
Yeah, breakdancing outside. Well, folks, that is it. That is going to wrap up this week's episode of the Pop Culture Field Manual Podcast. We hope you enjoyed, and if you made it to the end, congratulations and thank you. We look forward to serving you guys another episode next week. Izzy?
Folks, take care of yourselves. Till next time, check out all our YouTube stuff, the Iz Files, First Formation with me at the beginning of the week on the Pop Culture Field Manual Podcast YouTube channel, and the Debrief with Cameron at the end of each week. We hope you enjoy it. And that being said,
cue music.
Hello, it is Ryan, and I was on a flight the other day playing one of my favorite social spin slot games on ChumbaCasino.com. I looked over at the person sitting next to me, and you know what they were doing? They were also playing Chumba Casino. Coincidence? I think not. Everybody's loving having fun with it. Chumba Casino is home to hundreds of casino-style games that you can play for free anytime, anywhere, even at 30,000 feet. So sign up now at ChumbaCasino.com to claim your free welcome bonus. That's ChumbaCasino.com and live the Chumba life.
No purchase necessary. VGW. Void where prohibited by law. See terms and conditions. 18+.
This is the smell of a warm 3-day-old egg salad sandwich in a wimpy trash bag.
Wimpy, wimpy, wimpy!
Blech. And this is the smell of that same sandwich in a hefty, ultra-strong trash bag with new Fabuloso lemon scent.
Hefty, hefty, hefty!
Smell the difference? When life gives you stinky, get Hefty Ultra Strong with new Fabuloso Lemon Scent. It smells like clean, freshly picked lemons. So no matter what's inside your trash, you can stop the stink and smell the lemon.